Well, welcome back, everybody. I am your host, Scott Frost. Jeremy Jones be alongside me very soon. This is the McDermott Open. This is day 4.
Scott, can you hear me? I'm here with you.
Sir, I just introduced you. How you doing, JJ?
Good. And of course, we didn't rise total FSR's performance, but gotta believe it was pretty darn good. Shuff's been playing great. Saw the performance from Eklent. Jason both. They both played well.
Without a doubt, JJ. Letting everybody know this is the finals. It's a race to 13. It's a winner break format. This is the WNT ranking event, and it's also the rules. Free foul rule is in effect. Jump cues are allowed. The 9 is racked on the spot. All ball fouls. If you touch any ball with your cue, your shirt, your shoes, it's a foul.
John Lehman, the referee here, experienced at his job. We break off the cue ball near. That's always a sign. Good way to start here.
Jeremy, I always wondered what it'd be like if somebody like myself or yourself could break like that currently. It'd probably be somebody. Uh, happen.
Like to, I mean, I spent a little time on it, and because I played a few tournaments, not a ton. And I'd like to spend more time on it. Got the chance trying to learn how to hit him harder, cut break, but he just kind of has that technique plus that raw power anyway. But for the final, a little bit of a shot here drawing the ball, but a really nice layout. A little better there, but
Yeah. Kind of wondering if he was a little concerned about getting past the ping, so just took the short side play. 5.
a little awkward. Forward, and he's thumping it a bit.
Not a lot out of it.
And I like it, handle a little angle rather than up by the head string. Comfortable play. How about you, Scott? I've been getting up at like 5:30 every morning since I've been home. Hitting
I,
the ball last few months.
well, that's good. I know you stay busy, and I was actually just on the phone with somebody. I've been sleeping around 3 hours a night. Day 1 here since they're on Eastern Standard Time. But yeah, it's been a long few weeks or month, but I think it's a good thing. Rather stay busy than not be busy.
Yeah, for sure. Problem. A little lighter the last few days, so getting up early actually hit balls during the daylight times. Nice.
Well, JJ, you can hit balls. You had a great finish at the Open. Your style kind of, well, it kind of lends to still playing good, right? You don't do anything crazy as far as your movements or not quick around the table, and I still think you can play. I think you still want to play a little bit.
Oh, I'd love to, but Take a lot of time training and stuff. I'd love to do, not at this now, but still a pleasure to be around these guys, watching the game evolve and different personalities. 1-0 for Eklent Kaçi and a break and run. That's the theme here on this main table. Seen quite a few break and runs to open matches.
Yeah, without a doubt. And he kind of finished it out on that same note as well. So getting good looks at the two, and that's what you need in this format.
Duel kind of rotated somewhat from the corners there. Balls and the back ball. Well, it's the most random. Really haven't seen many leads to overcome this. I know there have been. Shaw had just a minimal lead, but he had a pretty big lead at the end at 9-6. That ball and hand shot, if you remember, he got straight on the 3 and had to play safe that first shot and kind of let it leak.
That's exactly right. Ball in hand on the 2, and then got long and offered on the 3. Let it leak. Then he missed the cross side bank, and it was all Kaci from there.
Cross side bank was a hair odd just because he had to kind of slow spin it a hair. I thought he'd still make it though. Hold position. Kaci did come with one heck of a shot off the side rail, especially when it looked like the wind was knocked out of him.
Yeah, probably one of the biggest shots of the match, if not the biggest for Kaci, because if he doesn't get that ball down, you know, he wasn't going to get any more opportunities. And this is a big shot here, but he loves this shot. Over and out past the 6.
So nice. Yeah, that shot, I agree. If he didn't bury that 3, kind of motivated him. A tough 4 ball after that down the rail past the side. And I think it was 2 breaking runs maybe in a row after that.
You're right. In talking about a shot that motivates you, right? I think we all know this, but you can be trailing in a match, whatever it is. And if you come with that one good shot, you hear it, you really start to gain your confidence back. It's all you really need. It lends to the term one ball at a time, really sets you free.
That he broke the balls and got this layout we talked about. Having that weapon, even when things are a little down, that weapon alone kind of set a few racks up to get you going. So this has got to go a hair. I think just enough, but now that I look at it, I think he's hooked.
Yeah, the cue ball really arced a little extra top on it, maybe that he didn't plan on. Did that earlier in last match that we didn't think he was coming from the side, though. He just got there. This time, I don't think so.
Got the short cue, and I'm not faulting the way he played the ball, not at all. But I thought he would stun one rail down, that little flatter angle. Probably make this though.
Your favorite here.
Get a little
Settle
thin.
or go.
Got the side still. Maybe
Might have to
not.
go to the lower left, right, Jay?
Yeah. I mean, looks like he can push through left also. Pass the side. Catch the.
Mean.
That draw stroke. Straight line back to where it's at now, somewhat in that area.
Yeah, this is a shot that's easily missed by slightly lower rated players. They get a little quick. Kaci, so good at this shot.
Just like his opponent in the semifinal with 2 breaking runs to open. 9-ball Kaci's done the same. 0.
It's open. Harrah's Resort in Atlantic City. If you haven't been, you've got to go. August 18th through the 23rd. Tell you what, Jeremy, it's a big event. You've won this event. You've got the green jacket, second longest running event in the United States. But Matchroom has done one heck of a job building it up, and the atmosphere is wild.
It's of course that and the World Championship titles. World to these players, I'm sure fans. Open. It's kind of like the British Open golf. Kind of got it's open. Of course, I'm from America.
Tickets go on sale the 14th. Pre-sales April 14th. Final sale is on the 16th for the regular ticket sales.
The
Side.
kids.
Really gets this cue ball arcing.
Cut off a little free ball. Pink. Now, would you roll out by the pink here, baby, and challenge with something crazy? Can't roll
Possible, I'll
out
tell you what.
below. You can't roll out below, can you?
Now in the top right corners, or excuse, yeah, the top right corner on our screen's no good. That lays natural position. So maybe the pink is the play. I would most likely expect to get it back if you leave him flat, straight on the pink. But kind of what you want, right? You want another opportunity at the table. So I think it's terrible by any means. He's looking to kick. Roll.
Oh, he's jumping. I gotten it awfully close. Okay, and he fouled in the semifinal on an easy jump.
Yeah,
Remember,
yeah, he caught the 8.
give this back. I have to get shaped.
Oh, no, it doesn't have to hit it.
Gonna give it back. I think Kaci, just looking at what he was doing for that push, maybe went a little far with the cue ball, a little further than he wanted. This is the
I
type you got to get it
agree.
up quick. I think it's hard to get enough pace to get back on the.
To your point, I think the bed's pretty fast, thanks to the mechanic. Mentioned Cliff, but I think the bed's pretty fast and just cracked a little bit.
Easy to roll. Good look to start. You can keep it real simple, just coming straight down the table.
Really don't see much trouble here. He gets on the 4, everything's nice, right? 6 plays to the lower left, which leads to the 7. So really all about this play here. You talk about a guy with soft hands, Jeremy. FSR, in my opinion, is the best at like the soft drags with the spin, or where you have to pull it up table and have a little bit of a steep angle. One of my favorite players to watch cue ball with very little effort, get the maximum out of it.
Yeah, a lot of people, when they talk about talent in this game, it's all about, oh, this long ball, you get knocked in, but you can do things like what Scott's talking about with FSR, all the little drags and little manipulations with kick shots and his safeties at a soft speed. That's talent as well. Not just knocking in the long. That's got to go. Yeah, that one. That's off by some
No,
mark.
agreed. And something I've noticed with him, I noticed it at PLP, and he and I touched on it. But he's borderline coming up as he's contacting the cue ball. Now he's always kind of had body movement after contact, a little lunge, but now it's getting closer and closer to pre-contact with the cue ball. And there, I guarantee you, he was starting to come up as he was contacting the.
I thought he made it, but yeah, that's usually a little bit of a let up there. What happens is you tend to let up and the elbow breaks down a little early. See, it kind of goes with under hit on the cue. Huge mistake on what looked like a very open table. It's a guy that I think feels pretty good.
Watch out. This table's quick.
Did overhit it though. I think he could have killed it much, much sooner.
Going it
Surprised
with an
no look.
inside, I think.
What I was getting at, a guy that's feeling pretty good, breaking the balls real well. So that mistake, pass it should further and match.
I know you're not a guy that's real big on theories and looking back and this and that, but I constantly wonder about FSR, his career and what he did over what was it, a year and a half to 2 years? How hard is it to try and match that? I know it's really easy to say, well, he's not thinking about that, right? But what are the expectations? How hard is it for him to try and match that or just get to that point? Do you think that his past gets to him at times mentally, or what are your thoughts?
I don't think for him. No, I mean, I think, you know, when you have success like that, and then you have a tournament or two or a spell, you start to think about winning again instead of maybe just putting forth that work that got you there to begin with. And I think he's the type that wouldn't dwell on that very much. And seems like he's in a happy place. I think at times he gets a little concerned about a mistake, which I understand, kind of like that last one. That would be concerning, you know what I mean? And but overall I think he's okay. Without really answering your question fully,
No, I get it. Yeah, just tough shoes to
but
fill, right? You have a couple of years the way he did, and it's just really tough shoes to fill. And I don't know if he goes quietly, compares that to where he's at now at times. I could see how it could be easy to do. Neither here nor there. He's such a professional and such a great guy. I don't relent that doing that. And I'm wondering if it crosses.
well, I think it's the same for a few guys. We could look
Right.
in the recent past. I mean, you talk about how great Filler is. Of course, he's great, but he hasn't won a major since 2019. He won the Worlds in 2018, then the U.S. Open in 2019. When we talk about the real big majors, so um, I think he had a little spell of that, like maybe it might be easy, and then you've seen what he's done with his pool game since. Now he's one of the best tactical players, kickers, safeties, everything, because he
Yes.
had to evolve and instead of just thinking I'm going to just winning.
All right. He's coming off the thin side. Does he just try to get down past the 9 and 6 around the table, or is he coming?
Yeah, yeah. He needs a hair right though to dodge the pink 4. Got to miss the 8 also.
Feathering this ball? Yeah, just
Yeah, but
feathering it.
see the 4 there though, just narrowly got by it. Good stuff overall.
Very, very good.
But I
Nice
think
table.
Fran's. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Scott.
No, I just feel like he's one of the best at stuff like this right here, right? He's going to pick a side out, just like what he's doing. He's going to pick particular point out on this 2 ball. and really has a plan here. Like, and executes. Not only has a plan, executes as good as anybody positions.
Light side here, flip it and come across the 7. Gonna hurt a little.
And I liked what you talked about there. I thought he would look in, and maybe he was just trying to light side it
Clip
or
it.
clip it. Yeah.
Well, that what I was getting at about FSR though, I think he's right there to get it back to where the type of pool you need to win big tournaments.
We got a glimmer of it at the European Open. There was mid-tournament where, you had kind of mentioned to me and to the rest of the people that you liked him to win the tournament, and started paying more attention to him, and he really looked great in a lot of the matches. Nice
A
play.
lot out of that, yeah, to get that much of it. But overall, to answer all those questions, it's just not easy to win out here. There's that many great players. No matter what the story or the finding things are.
Yeah, and that's more credit to what FSR really did. But even then, I feel like the talent and the level of play has come up due to what Matchroom's done and everything else that's happening and all the pool that's being played. It's incredibly hard to win now.
Well, that tight pocket, I think, in the rule change with break and whatnot, I think it really did that next level, besides those top guys, it really did them a lot of favors. I think they got more time at the table because you don't see guys just running bazillion racks with the one on the spot, big pockets. And I think they've learned to grind even more. And I think see some of those names coming through.
Yeah, like touching on Federer. I think that the table's set up for his style, his timing, his pace around the table, his thought process. Everything he does really leads to his style. And look at what he did last year. Now, can he repeat it? Well, we don't know, but I look for him to be at the top in most all of these events because he is a true grinder and has all the facets in his game.
I hope he's undoubtedly, I'm sure. I hope he's preparing for a big 25 because there's a lot of guns coming at him.
And one of them is at the table now.
If he's close, he can slide up the left ring. Zero, so say it's time to take a timeout yet, but that head clear at the moment. Griffiths.
3 open JJ both be there 5th through the 10th. Tickets on sale April 9th. Pre-sale is April 7th, which is tomorrow. Go ahead and set your alarms at Bree Royale in Orlando. That's what it was this year. And I'll tell you what, I really liked the venue. I really liked the resort. There was a lot to do there. The food wasn't bad at all. They have a great steakhouse, a couple of nice bars. Pretty good time, JJ.
Yeah, and, like Sunshine, that'll be out. And tons of stuff in that area. Certainly watch a lot of pool. Find some type of outside entertainment not far away. Kaci's done all the breaking so far, and he'll do game number 5. one. The 2 has really been by itself quite a bit. That's a good sign for the breaker. Got a nice angle here to go forward.
Even not any kisses seems to be the story, Jeremy. Somewhere around the 2 almost every time.
You have enough angle to naturally forward into position. That would help speak. So you have to kind of get into this a little, right?
So
Another
when
thing
he
about
put
that hard break, Scott, real quick, is when we show the slow-mo, you can see the one kind of bend as it goes towards the side for some players. Seems like his doesn't bend at all. It's just straight rocket into the
yeah, might not have time to bend.
yeah. As it's crying towards the side pocket.
I think JJ's got to maybe stun this over, which is real tricky. It's easy to get into it too much and come down past the pink, and it's real easy to stay too high.
Definitely got it in his repertoire. God, I'll tell you.
Wow,
How'd he hit it? How did he?
unbelievable. That's an
And
unbelievable hit.
yeah, and you talk about, wanting it and put in more time training and everything else, and all that helps, but that's just pure talent, in my opinion.
I fully agree. And touching on that, I think the PLP really kind of fired him up. When I heard that he was here and he won his first match and did something special or in a match or two, I think the PLP really fired him up because I did see some frustration out of him that was surprising because you never see it from Clint, but maybe really getting fired up to your point, JJ.
Yeah, well, I think that frustration, because if you watch the beginning of the PLP, he made some incredible shots. It just looked like he was really trying to get dialed in, and I think that's why you saw some frustration because he let a few matches go. You and I talked about over there, if you can get a couple days rest and you're up for it, I think any of those players, if they're going on to another tournament, it would serve a good purpose for them, that PLP. And I don't know if you noticed, but Chua went on to Vietnam and won a big tournament just earlier today
I sure
after
did
all that
notice.
good.
Yeah, like you said, a couple of days rest. You're playing the European Open, then you're there 8 straight days of pool in the PLP. You get 2 or 3 days rest. Pretty hard not to be in stroke. Mindset is right.
Yeah, just carry it on, building. Pick up a few dollars on the way as well. All right, stay off the cushion. That's the main. I didn't realize he could hold it up the left. Perfect.
Yeah, and really, to me, and I know he looks about the same every time he addresses the cue ball, but really starting to look a little bit more comfortable. Trying to look for the signs that tell me that he doesn't have a lot of tells. Something within his game now, within the last couple of racks, that's really starting to dial in. Obviously, not missing his one. That 2 ball that he came with initially this rack, such a sweet hit.
Slams the 9 home, 5-0. And the mistakes can at the table. Sharkstream nation. I say what to expect, but I don't think I ever know what to expect on the all kinds of different things.
Yeah, agreed, Jeremy. I think that's the great thing about Bobby. He really likes to mix it up. Yale Billiards, if you haven't been there, check it out. Check this out, $10 a month, 100 a year. Really can't go wrong. I think that's what Digital Pool, WNT TV, I think what everybody's trying to do is make it affordable for the people, give them as much top tier pool that you can take. And you can't get any better than that.
I wonder if Eklent would ever be the type to live in America. I think he does like some of it for sure. Likes his home.
Yeah, he does love Albania, but touching on that, the more they're over here, you never know. It's happened to many of them.
Knocking a nice two ball, you might get an easy next time, and that's exactly what. Ain't no bend on that one ball. Side pocket. Now he's just naturally perfect to go around in between the 5-8 and maybe the short side on the 3 side pocket. Maybe he
Yeah,
comes all the way around above the 3.
exactly. Could someone like probably just all preference, but I don't think he's so thin that he's going towards the 8 here. I think it's a pretty natural line between maybe acting like it's a little thinner than we think.
Rushing us. A little left spin gets him right around that ball.
I'll always say he's milking it.
Dotting the I's and crossing the, making sure down above it. Huh? Bumpy Johnson.
Lee Johnson.
Yeah, he's gotten perfect with the bump though. He can draw to straight on the pink, play for an angle.
Well, they say, Jeremy, that the balls know who's winning, and I don't know if it's negative energy or positive energy or what it is, but a lot of times good things will happen to the better player or the guy that's playing the best pool. Um, I don't know. I am a conspiracy theorist, so that's pretty evident in my conversation. But this needs to settle. It's going to take a big hop.
A close
All right.
quarter, so he should be okay. Yeah, you almost have to, turn it around yourself somehow. Maybe Kaci give one away that we don't expect. Now, I always have no problem coming with left spin here by the 9, but not so sure it's correct, really. Maybe just straight between the 8 and 9. That way you never fall on the rail with the.
Yeah, and I don't think you can
You know what
drop
I
below
mean?
the 7 that way either. I think there are ways to get below the 7 here, but this is not one of them.
Yeah, I like that. Real natural. It's going to be a problem. I think
FSR even still in the building.
careful.
Haven't seen much of him.
No, he's only pocketed 2 balls in this match, if I'm correct. Maybe 3 balls. Yeah, the 2, 3, 4, the 3, 4, 5, and he ended up short on the 6. All right, got to pay attention here.
Side.
Yeah, when he's down on the ball, if you could, I mean, just really, really on it, taking anything for granted. One guy's almost halfway home. Fine class as well. I'm just not sure when he's going to get a chance. They don't know.
Yeah, it doesn't look like it's coming anytime soon, the way he's breaking the balls.
About before from some other people. So far, I
Right.
mean, it's helping a little. It's helping a little bit.
Stuff.
Yeah, I hit pool balls. I couldn't believe it. An hour and a half each day. That's too. Not a ton of pain. We're back. Talking about being old and pain, and Kaci being young and putting the pain down on FSR, another youngster. There it does. He's 31. Again, hats off to Brandon Schuff and Jason Shaw, that are tied for third place. Fine showing. Miller Field.
Thank you all for tuning in. Both really appreciate it. I know Post Pool Room does. Sponsors. You get a chance, guys. Will you share the stream? Greatly appreciate it. We need fans to make this all work.
On ball again, kind of by itself.
To it for the top right corner if he decides.
Yeah, I think he can. Can he get enough to just bank it away 2 rails and draw 1 rail behind the 4-9?
I like it.
Bank it between the 4-9.
Yeah, almost like you're two railing it
cushion.
directly towards the pocket, right? Towards this top
Kinda.
left corner.
Yeah, you got a bunch of balls in the help you out. It's a matter of how much of the ball hit. Now, if he could level out and cut at it and run the ball, he may go for that, but I don't think that offer here.
Big ball, the 2 rail, the 2 around. Does he have to catch the 2 a little thinner than we think? I don't know. Can he just shave the 2 and come back towards the 7?
Well, the way the match has gone, you just want to leave anything tough, right? Even if he can see it, got to feel like it's going to be tough for Fran to knock in a tough ball at this.
Maybe a little struggle with the bridge there. I think he's going at this, Jeremy.
Stun.
To the tip of inside there, he was addressing the cue ball with just off center tip of inside. Top shot. Really asking a lot here. You're
Well, he
leading
would
6 games to 0, right? You're leading 6 games to 0. I like your shot, 2 railing the 2 towards the top right.
All right, he's jacked up a little bit now. Still a hair on the inside part of the. This shows you at 6-0, he's, you know, not wanting to give up anything, wanting to play the right shot, whatever.
He looked at feathering the right side of the 2 real tough because you got to catch it so slivery thin. I'll maybe going to the 2 railer, Jay.
I think he's going to make now.
Yeah.
I think he sees that have enough. Wow, this guy's got good eyes, but even here, he got to give him a look. Don't think this is any kind of easy. He's got to shoot the 2, make a tough shot, get position 3 to get back for the 4.
And touching on that shot there, I'm actually surprised he could catch that much of 2 and avoid the lower corner as much as he did.
Well, some after contact about 12 feet. Rocked over 5.5. Shows you how thin, and again, how on point he is, because that was no hanger, that little shot he shot.
And this is what FSR has got to look at after 6 games. It feels like he's played about 12 games.
probably feels like a 6x12. You're going into a snooker pocket after what he's been sitting and watching. Think you got to elevate, just knock it on in as best you can.
Yeah, and in the back of your mind, you're going to have pretty much something similar on the 3, right? You're going to be long on the 3. Got to get it down.
Well, that body movement you're talking about, Scott, might get a roll here. And a little bit of one. At least he's going to get back to the table.
Yeah, and FSR is aware. He's very, very aware of movement. He's always kind of had a built-in lunge after contact. But I think that the older we get, the more we play, that lunge can slowly morph into something that you're really kind of flirting with when you're contacting the cue ball, and just kind of wonder if that's playing some games with him at times.
Going to have to take it away from this guy. Have to kick his kicks, break and runs, do some things, get himself in this match and let Eklent know he's there.
Yeah, and he can do that. Racing to 13 is the final. Got time. Starts now, like you said, Jeremy. He's got to make a good hit here and have something start going his way.
Should hit it. Has the right speed. Follow this down to the kind of. Oh man. So unlucky. It may not have mattered with the 2 hanging, but still pretty unfortunate. Certainly matters on getting tough position on the ball to get back on the.
Really where the scratch lies, right, is where the 3 lays to get back on the 4. Even if the cue ball holds up with the 2 hanging, now he's got a ton of work to do. This changes, well, it changes everything.
Goes from, I think, an underdog probably hanging. Because that first shot would have been totally controlled. Now, I like coming close at this. Go ahead and come on down at it. Play up too much. Off angle.
Right,
Does he
drop past the side.
I don't know if he can draw it over there or not. Yes, he can. He's got a lot of power. I thought he might have to go forward one rail between 6-5, but maybe that's not there. Maybe angle. He'll draw past the side.
Well, I actually thought the same, Jay, until I saw this view. Then I felt like he could beat the left side. Oh, he had no problem beating the left side. Not only that, he got into it way too much.
That's what I initially saw, that he was drawing into the 5-8, and that's why I thought he might have to go forward. Ball.
Yeah, but if he could draw into those balls, he could definitely stun draw past him.
Good thing. Sometimes that stun draw on a 4-inch pocket table is a little nervy way to play the ball.
No, I agree. He could have gone forward. I think the line between the 6 and 7 was always going to be okay. Going at this ball. Iron ball to get behind.
Like that one bit. Not sure what, kind of what he was trying to do. I can't tell what went wrong behind it.
Yeah, you had inside on the cue ball. And typically, these guys would play a running English where 2 rails tight up into the back of the 9. Inside's what caused the 4 to crash into the 8 and leave the cue ball open. Isn't a lot of fun either, is it?
No, he isn't. Hasn't had an easy starter, that's for sure. Let's look at the out past that. If he makes this a 5-ball, 6-ball, could roll this in the. But again, he's going to have to really show us one just to get this ball down with any kind of pace.
He missed the
Gotta look.
9 and just come 3 rails, Jay.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's all you could do coming backwards on the shot as you're trying to miss it. But
Got to dig into it. Definitely want to catch ball first here. You do not want to catch rail first here. It's disaster. Taking a look, making sure the 5 is where it's at. It could be frozen. If it's frozen, I think it makes it just a hair more difficult. Just off. Bigger ball.
got big shot. He's going to get a bump, but still big shot, I think. And moving forward, knocking ball.
Yeah, a little unlucky, right? To just go dead into the face of the 6. Lock him up behind the 8 here. What? Not beyond his means to kick this ball in. He'll definitely go to the second rail.
Kicks at him real well, and it's just that a bunch of time spent or just the way the brain works. He sees that little extra, whatever it is, speed or the line or both. A little more than medium. I don't think he'll crush it.
He looked to me like he miscued.
Yeah, it did
Yeah, he
look a little
did.
funny.
Yeah, he miscued there. The tip come off the cue. Cue ball. This is the opportunity. Chalk all over the cue ball from that miscue.
Now, of course, you're always going to try and play great position. That's what these guys do. Even more than trying to get perfect with the cue ball, I think for FSR, it's just getting that arm going, getting confidence. You know?
There is no doubt he is more of a Jason Shaw style rhythm player. Maybe not that quick, but I'll tell you what, when he gets comfortable, he really gets moving. He's got to loosen the arm up. This shot here, I know it's not extreme, but he is so soft hands and dragging this ball up.
He's one that's worked on the break. I haven't seen every match here or anything. Bosnia for those 3 weeks, really hitting him with more pace than he had before, which I liked. Ball after that miscue.
Kaci might have taken a chip out of old Snow there.
Times you just something just to oh, some merch, some Ernie merch you hold of.
Find that fire there. Your camera phone. First opportunity to break the balls, and it's going to be dry. One considerably high of the side, out the point. Look at this layout as well. Mine did track out. I didn't see if it got pissed. It did track out of the rack a little bit. Layout's a little bit concerning. So I'm not sure happening there.
Had to be a lot of kisses, or usually it's a lot of kisses when that can. Can't do much here. Just try and get in position to play as tidy as safety as possible.
Definitely got a wall there. 5, 4, 9, and 7. You can get thin enough on the 2. Couple options, right, Jay? Can you chip the top side of it and kind of like thread the needle between the 3 and the pink, come back over?
Who's going to go downward a little bit? You still be okay, but he has it.
Sure, it's going to be right, whatever it is. Down behind the 8, maybe.
Like you'd want to see. Not moving, but that last bump maybe.
Out there. I think he actually played the 2 pretty heavy towards the 6 by design to hold it more. Maybe that last little bump gave him a sliver. Don't know. Hard to tell. He's telling me didn't.
Yeah, definitely played it by design thick. It's a nervy shot to put so much speed on it, right? Especially with inside also.
Yeah, I was a little taken back by the pace at which he hit it, but he's at the table. He's one of the best players on the planet. Look, I think he can get a piece of the 2, and even if he could, really no benefit. Oh. Oh.
Roll.
Plunkett kicks the 2-9 combination, dead in the heart to the corner. That gets a boom. What the line was on this match, JJ?
Well, I mean, I had to put Kaci a hair of a, but it was big.
Yeah,
Pretty
I'd
much a
bet
pick. I mean, whoever gets the shots, right?
dominant gun out there. Fine. I don't know if it's a game, if it's 2 games. I think Kaci's probably that little bit of a favorite. Man. Time. Speed, what great John Lehman is doing. Hi again, Jeremy.
Yeah. I mean, talked about it earlier in the week. I mean, we don't have every match on the stream table, so it's hard to see everything, but at the PLP, everyone struggled with one ball, it seemed like at some point a little bit, maybe not Shaw so much. Vito was pretty darn good, but he struggled a little at the end. But I think earlier this week we saw on this table a few players that play this type of format all the time had a little struggles on the table. Gonna push out to a kick off the bottom cushion.
Yeah, I'm
One
just wondering. Go ahead. Go ahead, Jay.
I was just gonna say one that I think Fran might take. But we'll
Right.
see.
I almost felt like he could kick from where he was to the right long rail and maybe get cover if you catch the top side of the one.
Yeah, this one looks like pretty straight, maybe a hair of right English on it, just a touch. This angle is actually the opposite than you other spin coming into it. About a 210. Very rare mistake on that type of kick shot from FSR.
And really two kicks, the two ball that he got into a little too much, and then now the one, and that he is one of the best. Ball. Two rails out here. I would assume just find the gap between red and purple. Could draw it out. Eight seems to just be in that awkward position to me.
Yeah, this is one you got to roll with the hair spin. May not even really need the spin, actually. Like two wheels lengthens center of the table. And just like that.
Might need to find another gap between the 6 and 7. It's okay if you come directly at triple 5. Does the 3 pass the 9? I believe so. You stay below it, right? Just draw over below the 6 and 7.
Yeah. I think two rails out here though, right? Between the 6, 7.
That's what I initially thought, but it kind of looked like he was leaning towards the side or the corner for the 3, meaning nearest him.
This looks natural to come above the purple though. Oh, he could catch that easily.
Yeah.
I didn't know that was that easy to dive it below the 7 and back out. That's definitely the shot though.
Yeah,
100%
you don't,
because
right. You don't risk going in anything, right?
and the 4 is real handy. You know, if the 4 is in an ugly spot and
Sure.
maybe you come above for the corner because the corners make things easier usually. But with the 4 so handy, I think you got to keep it simple as you can on the red 3.
You like this. This event here is going to do a lot for Eklent. He does happen to get the win. Confidence than anything. He's had some ups and downs since he made the finals with Federer, Saudi Arabia. Really, no, it's really up to him. The more pool he plays, right back there in the top 3 in the world, in my opinion. So another pick that kind of went by the wayside for FSR. Kaci stretches lead out 7-2. Past the halfway mark for him now. It's a race to 13. This is day 4 at Yale Billiards. Last night there was a crowd building. $10 monthly, $100 a year. Like what Jeremy said, what to expect. We don't really know what to expect because they're doing all types of different things here in this pool room. Tell you what, there's a lot of high-end play. $10 monthly. Hard to turn it down. Sharkstream TV. You guys live and put a ton of work into it as well.
Well done, Scott.
Jeremy, how do you stop this break? How do you stop it?
You just gotta be full advantage when you get the advantage, full at it and keep some heat on them. And, I think the break's he's just gonna get snookered less often than others, just the way he breaks the balls. But you just gotta overcome it for other things, I think. I don't think you can really stop it.
Well, the cue ball, every single time it's tracking to the second rail directly flush into the 9. And I wish people understood. I understand because for me, can't break the balls at all. And it's such a difficult hit to really dial in and pace at which he's doing. It's truly remarkable.
He's gonna get a hair in between here. Have to show us one, whether it's pulling it up the rail to a thin cut or into the ball. And sometimes here, I don't mind just letting the ball draw on the angle it's on. If I go into the 4-7, that's not the worst thing in the world, I think, a lot of times. Sometimes it's hard to force it across, then you hit it well and you're still behind the 7. So
yeah, I agree, Jay. Might actually just draw towards the 7 or the pink.
now when he's cueing straight down like that with that low, he's trying to slam across usually. And I think that's just a smart play. You know what I mean? Like take your chances there. You're going to get a good feel of the speed going into those balls. So I don't mind that one bit, Scott, especially with a 7-2 lead, right?
I fully agree. You're really never going to come away with anything bad. It's hard to hook yourself there. So if you don't get hooked, you're back. So I think it's the right move. You know you're going to make the object ball first.
Simplifying that's for sure. Gonna get a little angle, not a ton, but doable to draw to the center of the table. Actually, really good. Kind of all cylinders at the moment, huh? Ruíz?
He just doesn't look like he has any missteps in him right now. Now, typically when we touch on that, it happens. I don't see it coming.
Good thing this guy ain't your typical here, is
He's not.
but that curse is pretty strong though.
Oh, it is so strong. Never fails. But I'll tell you what, we talk about how great his break is with Breeze, and he is so good. It's just behind the break. If he didn't have such a great break, he'd still be a top player in the world. Now you add the break into it. And this is why, in my opinion, when he's playing his best pool, he's so consistent in majors.
Right. Go back up by 6 games. 8-2. Playing like he's got a date later somewhere. He's got somewhere to be. Eklent Kaçi.
Salado is the world's premier pool community. Playing your friends has never been more fun. Raise the bar with Salado so regular practice can become real pressure. With monthly prizes and cash payouts, Salado brings pool to the people. You can even submit match results to Fargo Rate through Salado if you want, but you don't have to. Your race, your place. Make your matches count with Salado. Download now and get started. No minimum play per month. 8, 9, 10 ball. You choose. It all counts.
We are back. John Lehman at the rack. We are day 4 of the McDermott Open. Wallingford, Connecticut. Eklent Kaçi putting on a small exhibition, in my opinion. Watch the cue ball here. As soon as I say it, it most likely won't happen. Arc off this bottom long rail towards the other rail, straight into the 9 flush. They went just above it.
Dry break.
Well, it never fails. SR better Venmo me.
He's got looking for a pocket. I don't know if the 1 passes the 2. Maybe it cuts in the side. I think he's got to go here. Got to take this on the side and try and run the ball or do something. You can almost hit it with like a high left. Get to the side cushion, I think.
Yeah, and check it off the bottom rail, right?
Yeah. Yeah, maybe you get a cut on the bank. Maybe you get a bank. Maybe you can hit enough speed to get above the 2. I don't know. Good draw with inside. Side rail.
Awful thin. Really put anything big on it. I like your outside ball, though. I think that's the most natural.
Yeah, there's a 4-9 waiting. Whoever gets control here in game number 11. Been all Kaci in control this match, so FSR needs a little something special to get going. Needs a ball on the break too. If he gets to that breaking in, those have been a little funny, the 2 he's had.
Yeah, I think 2 dry breaks, Jeremy, I believe.
Yeah, just the way the ball's broke though is not,
This angle tells me that the 1's definitely playable to the left side.
he's got to shoot here. Right. I think he could draw with inside too if he wanted, but he looks like he's playing the outside. Now, if he stuns it, he could get behind the 8.
Say, might go into the 8. This has turned out sweet.
I think he had to gamble a little bit, and he really hit it well. It wasn't easy to get enough on it to get by the 8 easily. And the 6. No worries here. That's about next couple shots. At least where he's had the entire match. Everything's been tough for FSR. The little he's had to been at the table has not been easy.
Yeah, the moment I touch Kaci's break, first dry break he's had since 2024. That's exactly what FSR needed. I think that's what us fans needed. Well, it's open. Tickets, pre-sale. 14th of this month. General sale is the 16th. Harrah's Resort, Atlantic City, the U.S. Open. My colleague, Double J, Jeremy Jones, has won this event, the green jacket, and it is a prestigious event, in my opinion, top 2 most prestigious events in the world. That title never leaves you. Gorse defeated Shane Van Boening in a pretty tense final last year. I don't think any of us lost in that final. Federer wins. Everybody loves it. Shane wins. He gets number 6. Will Shane Van Boening have another opportunity at 6? So hard to make the finals of these majors nowadays. Shane, something spectacular with that guy. 46 years old. Playing at such a high level all the time. Got to be the
Did you
trout
say
fishing.
46 years old? I'm going to tell him you said that. 41.
Is he 41? 41. I knew he was 41. Did I say 46?
You knew that. Yeah,
Did I say 46?
46? Yeah, he's 41.
Yeah. Well,
you
I've
knew
slept
that,
3
though.
hours. I did know that. Of course I knew that.
Yeah, but I
still,
think he's
that's
got a
old.
great chance. Yeah, and
It's
in
old for
today's
as much
game,
pool as he's played. Yeah, absolutely. You think he's got a great chance, JJ, of winning number 6?
Yeah, I mean, still 5 or 6 players you're going to pick are the real favorites. He's definitely one of the names. So, I mean, like,
256-man
you
field.
know, I mean, you don't expect anything less, but it's not like he had to face Federer. Federer's just having the year of his life at final last year. Shane played really well, and still Federer had to pull a few out of his hat, which he normally does in the big situations. That jump shot, I'll remember.
Oh, yeah.
Along with many other shots throughout that tournament, really all year for Federer. Yeah, I mean, who are you going to say? I mean, you got to say Federer. You got to say the guy who won it the year before, Ko Ping Chung, the Ko brothers. Say Shane. You got to say Filler. You got to say Kaci.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of guys. You know, to be honest.
No, I know, but I mean, if you had to pick 5, 6, 7, that you're just like, you know, I'm not trying to pick something to be smart, you know, an outsider, but someone who you know, if someone said, all right, I'm going to bet you this, I'm going to let you pick your first 6.
Well, not only that, Shane, obviously, you know, he wants, I think that's really all he wants. Be honest with you, I kind of know that that's really all he wants, and that's all he's wanted for several years now, is to get number 6. So there's no doubt that he's probably one of the 5 or 6 favorites to get to the finals again. It's just so hard to do.
No, but those special guys do that kind of stuff.
Of course.
That hard to do stuff. I mean, he's going to have Florida, which is perfect, like a week. Then you get 7, 8 days off. There's going to be another nice ranking event, which guys will make a choice to play in or not. Most will. And then they'll move right up the East Coast to Atlantic City.
Speaking of Florida, shout out Classic Billiards. Dave Rosnick doing a lot of things down there and talking a little bit about possibly hosting a ranking event here soon, but sponsors a lot of the players and hosting some teaching and stuff. Hopefully we can get you down there, JJ, at some point, but you're being pulled every which way all the time.
Yeah, I talked to Dave, actually. Love to get down there. I usually go to Florida during the winter, but this winter was a little different. But I'll be there in the summer.
Well, so will I, so hopefully we're together.
Yeah. We'll all be down there. Last year was a lot of fun. Like a whole month I was down there for so many events.
Spending a week, early June at Classic Billiards, and I cannot wait. Shane will be there as well. You on in it? Great. FSR, it's a break. Gonna get game number 4.
That 9 didn't move an ounce, so the one a little high. Well, 9 moved a hair, but much.
This awkward, or is he, I mean, this might be a two-way, or is he a little too thick to the one to really get into the 9 to the lower right here, Jay? Yeah, he's
You know,
too
I think
thin.
it's all about trying to run out. So you can either dig to go by the 9. I might just level out and go into the 9. I think you still hit it thin enough to come up for the 2.
That's kind of what I was getting at there. I didn't know he could just go into it. The 2's in such a good position. Looks like he's wanting to miss the 9 altogether.
Well, just looking at it, you know, you may simplify the 1 by not jacking up, you know, and just play into the 9. And you're maybe a little longer away, but he's happy with that. They're big shots. 5 games away from the title, Eklent, but that far, so a mistake. Really hurt. Big shot again.
Yeah, really nice play there. Come back too much here. A couple of feet would be okay. Stay on the steep line that the 3's on now is okay. I can track down 2 rails off the pink. In towards the 6. Yeah, this is all right. Maybe a little longer than he wanted to be, but I think the angle's natural.
Yeah, he's just got to play the speed, either commit to the second rail or check the ball, whichever one you need or want. Should not be a problem. Oh no. Now a decision. Play the 6, like he goes into the 8 thin enough to hold something on the 7. Not easy though.
Feel like you got to play it, Jay, in this position in the match. You just don't want Kaci back at the table. It's definitely makeable.
It's like a straight high ball.
Yeah. Maybe with a tip of outside, right?
I don't like it. I don't like low outside. Do you?
No, a high outside.
Yeah, I like straight high, maybe a hair of outside England. Like low left though. He's gonna try and draw off the 8 to the side rail and above. That. Like that, but again, missable ball.
Yeah, it becomes a lot less missable though if you level out, right? Maybe with a little bit outside. I understand why he did it in Grant position. Now, this is similar to what Kaci had just a while back, where he was trying to get behind the 9 and he an inside ball. Playing safe.
Thought he might run the ball here. Just going side rail, side rail.
Looks like.
Give a little look now. I think he did.
And this is where FSR is typically not just good, he's great. Wow.
course, a little upsetting, but probably more upsetting. Position error on the 6.
I was a little surprised FSR went that route. I know he was worried about the 9 kind of filling with 6 on. Felt like you could come to the long rail prior to the side, get there without any trouble as long as you said was right, which is the speed. Or here nor there, that's long over with.
Kaci. Oh, there was one. Oh, maybe the safety mistake is all in for me. Not much. Everything has made sense. And the ball's awesome.
Yeah, I think he's had one dry break. That was the break that I highlighted. But other than that, the safety, yeah, I don't believe there's been anything else that sticks out.
Nine 3 after 12 games.
McDermottQ.com. McDermott, I think we've all had one a time or two. They're really making a mark again. I had one when I was 17, and I actually really liked the way you played. Cues they're making nowadays, pretty high quality. So plays with one. Jonas still.
They were there, Luke. Crossover Werner. German dude. Easy. How
Had
he's
to.
feeling.
Yeah, had to have got a kiss here. No, he didn't. So
I
you
just
all
caught
just
it too thin.
tracking 3 rails from the thin side of the one. To roll it. A little thick. Be more concerned about the 7 than he is the 6, to be honest with you.
No doubt. Type of shot you might let it go and run a little bit. No, rather than just trying to get by there. Can afford a bump on the 7. And not crush it or anything, but just put a little more speed. Like that real comfortable to make the ball speed.
You did this flawlessly.
away from it. It's down in the corner.
Eight here.
I think the 4 passes a 6. Oh, he can go. So that's definitely the out.
Younger brother. Somewhere close by. Soaking up anything he can. Kaci, Sarajevo, towards the end of the PLP. We had lunch a couple times and he was telling me, he said, you know, for me now, really all about just wanting to play. Said he wasn't concerned at all with his game. He said it's just more a mindset and really wanting to play, finding the motivation at times. That's pretty clear here that he's a little bit more motivated. So trimmed weight, lost definitely 15, 20 pounds. He's a big guy, 6'5", somewhere around there.
Sponsors.
Harriman Real Estate, Gal, Gelato, find your Helm, Simonis, Espen, Gilbert. Thank you guys for all the support. Without your help.
Yeah. Name sponsor, the main sponsor, McDermott. Couldn't do it without y'all. There's always those sponsors that are so vital for each event. And it takes a great room owner, you know, like Bobby, that does things right, continually calling these sponsors and know they're getting a ton of value no matter what's.
And then people behind the scenes, Brian Brennan, obviously Bobby, commentators we worked with, Bobby Hunt, and then the Kickin' Chicken. Those guys spent a lot of time this week. We had a lot of fun with them. Oh, I have not seen this in quite a while. Little miscue.
I've seen it once from Eklent. Now he gets to play the safety.
Yeah, you just don't see this very often.
Yeah, now do you roll them back on the pack? Just put them behind it, because the 3-rail kick is not that hard if you.
I like going definitely. I'd like to somehow tuck under the 6 and 7.
Yeah, this 3-rail kick is not that hard if you know it. But he's maybe looking 1 rail.
Trying to catch the top side of it.
But you could shave the one and come back on the pile right there. You know, on the back bottom side of the pile, pretty easy.
Yeah, and I think I know exactly what you're doing there, and I'm going to do the same. You can literally just pickle the one and really glue them to the pile, make life miserable for your opponent.
I go 3 rails here. Of course, I'm pretty comfortable with this kick, so.
Yeah, I mean, Eklent's defense there, I think that's a lot more cue ball travel, Jeremy, right? Where he might feel he's just a little bit more accurate with this short range.
You better be, because you have a very small portion of the one.
Right. I'm not
Mhm.
disagreeing, but I'm just his
Yeah.
mindset here.
You kick 3 rails, you got the width of almost 3 balls to hit at, because you can hit
Yeah.
either side of the one or flush.
Yeah, and you'd have to hit a little pace, right, in order to get a
Oh,
rail.
yeah. Yeah, you got to get a rail. But this opens up to a sellout, even if you do hit it, because the one's going to chip off with the cue ball. But it's still a great hit regardless. Leave length, though. What a... oh, no, he
I think
caught
he
the 8th.
fouled. Yeah, just caught it. Three rails. They're massive. What here, Jay? He's on 2. Play safe on the blue.
You could. Here.
Yeah, you don't have to play safe on the 1 here, right? You can get the 1 down and maybe tuck under the 2 and use the 6 and 7 and maybe shoot the 2 towards the 4 and 5, sending it upstream.
Yeah. Nothing standing out. I mean, he could play the cue ball into the pile easily. Could play the 1 ball into the pile and drop him below the 3.
And that's what he's going to do.
Pretty good. Now, you don't want to leave the jump. Don't want this one to leak out too much.
You just want to cut him off from the top rail as well.
Oh, he
left
left
him
him
straight in.
Didn't expect that. Now, Kaci's going to do everything to not foul, obviously, but may go for this in the side and try and get shape. Looks a little scratchy, maybe.
Yeah, I kind of feel like, just dropping down below the 2 was really a pretty good spot to be in, but I understand what was happening there. Good luck moving that magic rat.
That one lead. Hey, I
To
don't
get
know
up.
if got away.
Really, I'm sure you have. I don't really remember when I've covered a miscue on the break where the whole rack is still together, So I think I've covered a couple where they've miscued and missed the 1.
Can't
Still
remember.
hit the
What
rack.
that long ago that Kaci did. Can't remember if he hit
Really?
the rack or not. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, this is a little different style of 9-ball that I'm used to. Don't want to make this one, I don't believe. Had some issues getting over the balls with the jump cue. This has really got to get airborne. Gonna be bouncing. It's just fine. Know how thin he is, but might be able to go to this lower right corner and just kind of shave the 1.
Don't think he's going to get a snooker from here. I mean, he could play the thin one, but I wouldn't take a chance at scratching. I'll tell you that. Not with the ball so messed up.
Yeah, I feel like he could shave on the right side of the 1, but maybe it's A little thinner than I think. Do want to leave him great on the one here, so he's trying to do something with it. Two does play to the lower left. Excuse me, the upper left. Again.
Can he hit before the side and just drift it past the pile?
Yeah, that was better than the speed he had with ball in hand after the miscue.
Yeah.
It's kind of going back to that. I felt like FSR as good as I could have done a little bit more with that. And you touched on it as well. Behind this, Jay, or
Yeah, 3 rails behind. Make sure you hit it hard enough to get a cushion just in case you hit it dead full. Pretty hard luck to hit it dead full. Shot with an angle. Well, I think so anyway.
Yeah.
Might be able to get offensive on the 2 to open the pile. Like with a high ball and still go forward for the 3. Could get on the 3 to open the pile. Sticky coming from underneath, but you never know. On a hair far.
9
Be able to
might
go
help
with-
him though, Jay, if he just powers through, right? Going into
Yeah,
maybe.
yeah.
Yeah, I think the 9 might help him. The 7 obviously might help him, but the 4 and the 5 also. I wouldn't be shocked if he gets a good look at the 3 here. He drew
Went
it.
wrong. Why would he? Oh, he made the
And he
9.
made the 9.
Couple nice 9 balls for FSR.
By design.
I don't know about that, but I guess somewhat, yeah.
Well, I wonder if he looked at it off the end.
Oh, probably. I'd sure like to have seen his face though after it went.
I felt like if he went forward, I'm wondering if that's why he drew the ball. If he went forward, I felt like he had a good chance of getting a look at the 3, but surprised us all. It's cue by
10-4.
Kaci. Yeah, the radio score. This cue by Kaci didn't really dictate how he lost the wrath, but he did happen to lose it. It's way down the road.
One long again. Gonna need some real help here. A little bit of awkward cueing. Surprised he ain't switch sides a little bit or something. Really? Straight across the racking area. That's usually a good sign. Tough shot here. Awkward cueing, I think, anyways.
No, I fully agree with you, Jeremy. I used to hate this play here. The 3 just seemed like such a massive ball to me. Whether I made good contact or made the 1, somehow my cue would end up feathering the 3. It's probably bad fundamentals, what it really comes down to, but you're definitely mindful of that ball being there.
No, I agree. I mean, also. But I mean, if you feather the 3 with your cue right there, you're having to put speed on the cue to draw the ball and all that. I mean, most would say that's just terrible, but I mean, don't think it isn't very doable.
Right.
Especially when it's on your mind. So,
Absolutely.
touch there.
Table actually has the whole match.
Yeah, I mean, I was on the stream a little early, just kind of watching the guys practice. Jason was there hitting balls. Very interested in what he's doing. And Kaci kind of showed up with just maybe 15 minutes and kind of got to thinking about it. I was like, well, maybe it being the last day, that's a good sign. Not trying to get up here and grind too early. He feels good about things, and he's in that Final Four, so he's obviously playing great. Trying to maybe read a little too much into it. I think this shows us he's starting to get that confidence of really brewing.
And when Eklent and I were having the conversation in Sarajevo over lunch, you just believe him, right? He looked at me and said, "No, it has nothing to do with struggles, has nothing to do with stats, it has nothing to do with what I've got to do, want to play." And immediately as I'm looking at him, I'm just can't do anything but agree with him, right? Really believe somebody like him when he says it. This is proof pudding, right? Right back to United States and simply dominating.
Got to keep the pressure on and kind of float it. Try to go back and forth. Get a little roll with the cue ball, but FSR very happy to be at the table. Thought he might roll it, but had to go back and forth. Now, does he carry into the 8 here? Ball?
Possible, right? It's actually in a good position to do. Very likely to even makes the ball there. It's hard to get underneath it to where you're not going to get a shot.
And he's close to it, so he can kind of smooth light draw into the ball with the hair outside, I think. Does a high ball get him into the 8?
Yeah, that's kind of what I think he was looking at there, was maybe with a high, a little bit of an outside ball, or maybe even from this angle, it looks like maybe just a touch of right or just a straight top ball, Jay.
Just a hair, right? Cue ball could get away up table, though. Like this.
See, I didn't think he could get enough underneath it to end up like this, but sure did.
I thought he could hit it lighter, though, to be fair. No? I mean, you had to
Yeah.
kind of ease it. You know what I'm saying?
I think that's a sign of comfort as well, right?
Yeah, just kind of, don't get me wrong. He didn't have to end up like this, even at the speed he hit it. I just felt like looking at it, especially with a high ball, it's going to want to move on you more.
So what about this position, Jeremy? Do you just try to get him
Yeah.
behind the 9, or do you go at the top right corner?
Yeah. No, you're supposed to be able to lay this down. You're going to give up a jump or a rail first, but you're supposed to be able to get the snooker here. I mean, if you go for it, that's okay too.
Yeah, it kind of felt like he wanted to shoot it.
Yeah. Just go to the practice room and set that up. You got so many ways to get behind that 9 if you're settled. You're comfortable.
It's a
But
huge
you can't.
ball.
Yeah, and you can't blame the guy to want to go, though. Not one bit. I'm just saying if he elected to play safe, I liked his chances of getting this. So onward and upward for Eklent Kaçi, down to 11 games, 11-4.
Really, though, it's just been one of those, dominant performances by Kaci, and every time that FSR's looked up, it's just been a bit awkward off of a small mistake from Kaci. And it's never been something like where he's just got something stop, connect the dots. It's always been a little awkward, and it's like he just hasn't had a chance to really, throughout the entire set, get anything going on top of the poor break result.
Yeah, I mean, 2 breaking runs to open. Then I think a tactical, another breaking run, tactical win, and then he was really aware of FSR's limited time at the beginning of the match, and he made it real tough when he was letting him come to the table. Didn't really give an inch. Ball's open again, not easy. What's the purple 5 doing? Got a little bit of the side of the ball to shoot next to the purple. Sometimes just as awkward as shooting over a ball.
Yeah, he's almost directly over it.
I don't like his chances.
Where did it go?
Well, you can always push out, but push out on the bottom cushion here somewhere. I'd give him probably 30% here, 35%.
Ducking, right? Or is he's shooting at this, huh?
No, he's shooting, yeah.
Yeah, wow. Yeah, I would make him
40%
somewhere around
maybe?
there as well. I like 30, but if he's shooting it, you've got to probably make it a little higher.
And he's steady dude. Go
This is
FSR.
Yeah, there you go. I kind of, that's what I was just touching on, right? If Eklent makes that, rare mistake, then pretty awkward for Fran. One play here, right? You chip it below the 6 and come up behind the brown and the purple.
May have to spin it below the 6, kind of like throw it and go between the 7-8 behind the brown. You know what I mean?
I
Kinda
felt
throw
like
the
an
2
inside
down.
ball. Yeah, I felt like just kind of like a check ball, and the inside would take off the second rail, but maybe not.
No, he can do that. He can do that. He's just got to cut it pretty thin. Thought he might throw it down there. See, like that a little more. Use the 7 as best you can.
Yeah, and I was a little bit more concerned about where the 2 finished.
I don't know if he can draw this jump shot, but he may be able to push the 2 through the 6 here.
Yeah, I don't think they're froze. He catches the two a tick thin. I believe it plays to the lower right. Then you got to watch the cue ball.
Got a shot, but it's, again, nothing easy. Eklent holding the cue ball on the bottom rail. Pretty sure by design there. Take his chance.
He felt like the shot prior, the defensive play from FSR was a little, a little half-handed. I felt like he could just really play the object ball down below the 6 a little bit more versus what he did, and this is kind of how it ended up.
Yeah. Stayed down too the whole way through. Key on that is, it's easy sometimes to recognize, I need to stay down on this shot. It's kind of like it just needs to be pretty much routine, right? Just
That's exactly what I was going to say. I feel like when he's on the rail, he knows that that's a must, but really keen throughout the entire process, which he's aware of, obviously.
I don't know if I go at the 6 here, if I go around the 6. I'm not worried about getting shape on the 6. I don't think that's that hard. Opened it up nicely. And these curtains here. Balls. All right, I think he's got 2 pockets on the 7.
He created a little more work for himself coming up light. You can just tell he's definitely not comfortable. Doesn't have the FSR flow, hasn't had it. Obviously, credit to Kaci for most of that.
Taking a lot of time here, huh, Scott?
I feel like he kind of like what I've touched on, maybe overthinking some situations here. It's okay. Obviously just not comfortable. Doing everything he can. Stay in this fight. Need to do a little bit more. Biggest struggle so far has been the break shot for FSR. Don't believe he's got the one down yet. To the side, Jeremy touched on him switching sides. I don't think that would be the worst of things by any means. When does that happen? Can he make the adjustment? Typically, while the guy that kind of patented this break or did patent this break Typically, he's going to make the adjustment right away. Haven't seen that.
I'd have to say, hey, swing him from that right side of the box and see what happens at least once.
It could change everything, right? It could really change everything. He's not going to do it. I understand. You better make an adjustment. The one continues to catch the top point at upper side pocket.
Right. Not going to be easy, but he shot. One down.
And can he go towards 3-9 now, 2 rails, or if it's too thick?
I think it's all right. I think he 3 goes in the lower right if he can go between the 8 and 9 for shape. Be the breakout though.
Yeah, and that's where his hand is there, Jay. So you're right. It does play into the corner. He just doesn't want to get high on the 3. That's where it gets a little funny if it's tight.
Nice. The pink 4 is somewhat near.
Not comfortable. Not seeing him really any type of comfortable yet in this match. Must be pretty tight, Jay, if he's really trying to dial in where the cue ball finishes. If it's that tight, I might just check it off the second rail and crash into the 9-3 where the 4 is.
I don't see him coming near the 6 on this shot. Unless this is really fooling me. I might come within 3 or 4 inches, but I don't think
Pretty natural.
thick.
Must be tight. You've got to be laying real nice. Get the 3 down, I think.
Talk about one of them in between strokes that he's so good at it today. And remember the couple he made against Jason Shaw in the 2-ball from distance?
Oh man.
Combination, the 2-ball on the side rail to maybe open the match. Maybe it was game 3. Made that ball after Jason broke and ran the first 2. He's spinning this.
He's not really elevated, so he's probably putting max outside on this ball. I'm not going to hit it too hard.
Let it open up a little bit coming across. I was going to say, you know, when I first met Kaci, that type of shot wasn't his best. You know, kind of like the kind of rolling the ball with English, essentially. That's where he got a lot better quickly, realizing that he needed more of that in his game. I don't think it comes natural to him as much, though, that type of shot versus like cueing down and maybe a light stun or something like that.
Oh, exactly. Exactly. That's his wheelhouse, is where he's elevating a little bit and down onto the cue ball there. Maybe it would have been okay if he did that. Stroke was just awkward. Speed.
Way in between that shot was. Certainly
You get
wants
the
the rack
rack removed.
removed. You think about this match, though, 2 of FSR's wins have been the 9-ball. Kind of a little fluky manner. The kick shot on the 2-9 up in the corner to get him on the board. You remember? And then that shot when he was opening all those balls and the 9 went the side, I think it was.
Without a doubt.
Just had to make a few of these to stay in this match, essentially.
You know, you feel like this is a real big one. You're okay. You got a little breathing room when your opponent's 2 away. But don't want the man. 12. Especially you're on 5.
Too.
Felt like that was one of his best swings that he's had so far. But once again, really taking a lot of time.
Real good at this too, getting into the ball. Kind of kill this over.
Oh, I think he's the greatest in the world at the shot right there. That was the shot I was touching on prior to this match starting. Talk about those soft hands.
Can he stun this comfortably 2 rails, or does he need to draw it 1 rail back over? Close, both are on.
Did have a better result off the break with the 1. Didn't complete the rack. A couple of innings in between. Got it done. And thank you all for tuning in. Do appreciate it. Digital Pool working extremely hard. The Sharkstreamtv.com. Check them out. WNPTV.com. Check them out. Everybody working together. Got me pretty excited. I know Jeremy appreciates it. And we're just really trying to push this in the right direction. You're young, talented. I don't think you could be coming up at a better time with everything the Matchroom is doing. You can really become a star. Real money involved nowadays. Way on the outside of this break box.
All right. Who's going to be a little friendlier? 8-ball got a little tough with a 6-7 the group together, but a little less stress to start this rack, it seems. 6-7 does play though as a combination, not too tough. A difficult 8-ball though.
And we can notice the layout comparisons. Kaci versus FSR. And it's not always going to be like that, but there's a reason for it. You get short side of the 6.
I mean, the 6-7 is very playable. Saw that earlier as the camera kind of caught it, but no. Looks
Yeah.
like it's definitely coming across. Then.
Surprised at the distance. I guess that's what he wanted to have this line play short side. Be good.
We're good. And you can bump the 7 going forward. Just be a little aware of how you're bumping it. Don't want to get thin on the 7 with the 8 kind of tucked away on the side cushion. Stay heavy as you can without being straight. And he may have fallen straight.
And you're really the only position can he snatch back one rail above the 9, but you want the 8 flying up in the top right corner here.
I like that. I mean, I like being aggressive, trying to get closer. I mean, usually preach that, hey, work from where you can. A little out of line. Here, I think it's worth it. Still no hanger. Great shot, though. Draw the ball for position.
Yeah, I think your thought process here is just not overdrawing it, but then it's really easy to underdraw it like this. You end up with something really awkward. Miscue.
I don't think so, but
It's
looked like
acting
just a
like he did.
little let up, maybe. I don't know. Maybe it was the tip. A little bit of a stretch for the right-hander also.
This is really, really funny to the lower left, or excuse me, to the upper left.
Yeah, Tennessee is on the miss to hit a little thick is all. Reach it nice. Down. 11-7 now. Make the 1. He's going to get a nice shot at the 1. Very good spread.
It's pretty thin. Can he swerve this in with an outside ball and just kind of maybe go to that rail towards the 6?
Oh, yeah.
Three in a great position. Seems to happen
Let's-
so much there, doesn't it, Jeremy? Where telling yourself very hard to get straight, then you end up straight, and it does matter here where the 7 is.
Yeah, it matters. I mean, the good thing is he could probably draw for the side. Give him a lot of options.
Feels like a big ball here. Quite a big flinch.
That goes back to what you talked about. You know, you fall straight on that first ball, makes you just get a little more out of line on the next one. Or let's say not as in line. And again, he
Yeah.
wanted to make sure he got around the 8, so tried to play the thin side and type right table kind of bared its teeth.
Here
Draw
we've all
this.
Yeah, he's got to draw to this, right, Jay? Just directly
I
out.
think so. I think so.
You don't want to bring the 8 in play if you don't have to, but he's going to kind of level out here, just going to chip it as thin as possible.
He must be really nipping it. So much. Maybe the table's a little different on that type of shot than we're expecting. That ball can be funny.
Oh,
Deep like
yeah.
that.
Playing it like that for certain. Pound it? I feel like you have
Done
to.
out. Done out here. Take 2 to 3 inches off the rail would be good.
Wow.
Gonna be off the rail. Position on the hill. FSR's come back to where this still doable to come back, but every game after this 9 ball's deposited right corner.
Joey hit the lights, Bobby grabbed the mic, chicken calling at you from the other side. Sharkstream, going live. You're about to enter water, only sharks survive. In 3, 2, 1.
Have a look at the room. That was Yale Billiards right there. It's John Lehman racking the ball. Been around a long time. Does a great job. Takes it seriously. Refereeing, we talk about it quite a bit, or we try to. Not thankful job. You typically going to be talked about when you make a mistake, fortunately, but he really does a great job.
All the referees, like you said, it's a thankless job, most part. Long days. And they probably feel the pressure as much as anyone. Really. A lot of these guys, good friends or heroes or kind of peer to them to play guitar. But of course, John, he's done time. Many different places.
No doubt. My break, Jay.
Yeah, it's his last one of the event. So looks like he kind of got away with it overall. Looking at the kick shot straight from here, the 2-rail. See a clear path, really. Path to hit the ball, but I'm talking about way with the safe of some.
Agreed. I think the pink and the 9 are big balls to get distance with the 1.
Don't give up or give in here. You can tell he's still trying to roll out tough and feels like he's starting to get the break going a little bit. Arms a little looser.
Almost felt like rolling out towards the right side pocket and just self that high kick with some cover. It's going to leave him open look on the 1 here, I believe. Or is he snookered by the 3? Surprised if he left him this whole ball.
Hate this shot though, trying to bump it up the side and trying to hold behind the 4-9. I'd love to have a little more cut on it. Not much cut. I think it's very hard to judge. Just cutting the 1 a little bit to bank it off the bottom cushion and side rail, and that way you have to get into the ball a little more gravel behind the 4. Surprised if he gives this back, even if he can see it.
Yeah, I think the 3 is actually the big problem here. Seems like it's extremely tight. You do have the 6 for kind of like the backdoor play, but to your point, real tough to find
Always
that
end up
little
short.
area. Yeah, yeah. Easy to catch the 1 too thin, right?
Yeah, and it's just, short just always seems to be the miss there. You don't want everything to open up and from the side or something like that. Big pocket here to go for if he wants to. Why wouldn't you? Nice.
Yeah.
To the ball. I wouldn't have ducked there myself. I would have went ahead and drew into the 2 with more speed. Looked like he was maybe trying to cover if he missed. You know what I mean? With the 4-9 and all that.
Yeah, be a little more aggressive there with the cue ball. Just know you're going to get into the 2 there versus just kind of nudging up to it.
And you got a bigger pocket with the 7. I really like his chances making the bank. So.
Just don't feel like he's been real comfortable at all, Jeremy, that this match, and we all have matches like this, or these guys will have it from time to time, but Eklent's had a lot to do with that.
Exactly what I was going to say. That I think that opponent hasn't introduced that comfortable feeling for FSR in this match. He's in the final, so he's obviously playing really well. I try to bank this in, huh, Scott?
Yeah, talk about a big pocket.
Yeah, you got a little helper. Might make a combo on it.
Great effort.
Get a roll like this.
Well, for the game, especially when you've got 6, 7 balls on the table. Shocking how often that ball will run all over the place and find some type of cover. This isn't much fun. Trailing 12 games to 7. Backs against the wall, literally. I think you've just got to cram at this, don't you? Or do you do something with control, like really power it with a center ball and hope that something happens? What do you think, Jay?
I mean, probably
Yeah.
off the bottom cushion, huh? 2 might flag, cross side, maybe. 6 might hold up, bank 1 rail. I don't know. Center ball, cue ball should kind of continue going forward a little bit. Center not high.
Gave it his best effort. Stick chance here to close this match out. All about getting on the pink 4. Probably want to stay below the 3 here unless you get way above it. Come 1 rail down.
It's a matter of how he wants to hit this first shot.
Perfect.
Hit it beautifully.
Want to draw into the side. I think he can come across if he'd like.
Main one there. That's always something to look at too. How not only, it's a 4-inch pocket, but how he's hit the pocket is good.
It's never really been a question. That everything looks extremely clean. Really good signs. The Albanian going forward, and you've got to believe that this event here, the ranking event, is going to build his confidence. He knows he can do it. He's told us this before. Eklent Kaçi definitely back. Watch out, the Super Billiard Expo. He might do some real damage.
I mean, he'll be one of the favorites for sure. And after that, not sure exactly what is on his schedule. I know probably the Scottish Open and K Opens. Won't be a ton of time off between tournaments, and that'll gonna be perfect.
From
Just the
number
slightest
1.
angle.
He's had the speed perfect, Jeremy. Really, I don't ever feel like I've remembered a moment in this match where speed's been a question for Kaci.
Not at all. White towel can be thrown over. But a great performance by both players. Just one guy really got going early, Scott, and that guy was Eklent Kaçi. Good to see him back in the winner's circle. FSR, another fine tournament. I personally want to thank you, of course, Scott, but the players and all the fans and Bobby and his staff for an exceptionally well-run event, and can't wait for 2026 and see what they do next.
Yeah, thanks, Jeremy. And I feelings mutual. And everybody that's tuned in, thank you, everybody, and you to Bobby Help, Yale Billiards, Sharkstream, WNT TV, just everybody that's been involved. Digital Pool, Zach Goldsmith. Thank you all so much for tuning in. I think we're going to stick around for a second. Frank Miletti going to give a little presentation, so don't go anywhere. But, okay.
Yeah, Frank's out there on the microphone right now. Unfortunately, he forgot to turn on his remote into the booth, so we're not going to be able to hear him.
All right, well, sounds good. I mean, we might leave the stream up. See Kaci there. putting a little flex on for the camera. It's a pretty big win for him, JJ. I feel like it's, it's a ranking event, but a big win. He's traveled across the pond and struggled a little bit here and there. So I think this really sets him forward.
No, you can see he's very happy, and like you said, traveled across a long ways to try and get a job done, and tried to do it in, kind of how he does his things on the pool table. And that's a big win moving forward. I mean, you just look at the PLP and how that got away, and that could certainly get away from anyone. But I think this is a huge win moving forward, and I wouldn't doubt we see a lot of winner circles here in 2025 for Eklent Kaçi, or as much as he wants to try and get them.
And there you see on your screen, that's Bobby Hilton right there in the blue, the owner of the pool room, the guy that makes it all happen. What a great guy he is. Jeremy and I have done some stuff with him, and look for Bobby to continue to do a lot more pool.
He's funny. He's got the Nikes on. He's looking sharp, but I'm going to set it aside, guys. Appreciate everything, and see you guys in just a few days.
Take care, Double J. Thanks so much, bud. See you soon.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks, Scott.
Thanks so much for
Thanks,
joining
Brian.
us this weekend. Appreciate all your time, and I really enjoyed doing this with you guys. So I wanted to say thank you.
You're welcome.
Quite welcome. Yeah, I enjoyed it, and look to do more in the future. See you guys in a few days, and I'll hit up Bobby telling him thank you.
All right, buddy. And thank you all, everyone. I am going to get out of here as well. I'm sure you're all tired of listening to us. Enjoy your afternoons. And thank you all very much. Have a good evening.
Take care, fellas.
I'm going to give a shout out to all of our sponsors. We've got Greater New Haven APA, Sigmaware, Tommy Supplies, Mabel's Tables, NM Billiards, Dynamic Power Wash, Pool Table Magic, Simonis Cloth, of course, the Sharkstream and Yale Billiards, Andy Gow, Support Pool, Share, and Donate, Salado, Mark Anthony Home Improvement, WR Magic Carbon Cleaners, McDermott, Teon Billiards, Vacules, Aramith, Master Billiards, K. Morgan Commercial Painting, Jacoby Custom Cues, and Harriman Real Estate. Don't forget, folks, without you, there is no us.